Welcome to the More Gems Show. I'm Steve Moriarty, your host, and tonight we really have a really great show for you. A wide variety of some really unique stones. I've been cutting for the last couple of weeks to produce what we have tonight, so glad to have you here. And with me tonight are my son Michael, who's in charge of this production. We'll see how it goes. and Jeffrey, who's our chat moderator.
Hey, everybody.
Hello, Jeffrey.
I'm ready for tonight.
All
Been on
right.
too long.
You want to tell them a little bit about
The show?
what they need to know? Yes.
All right. So, so for a lot of the new people here, tonight we're going to be showing quite a few different stones. There is going to be 15% off for all the stones tonight. You're going to use the coupon code New Year, and to shop, you're going to go to MoreGems.com. Does that little button in the bottom that works to click through?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so the visit MoreGems.com, then click.
Oh, no, you can't click.
Can't click that. Okay, you can't click that. But at the bottom of the YouTube screen, you'll see the URL. You could probably throw it in your navigation bar right now, so you have it open. And if you go to that site at the top, there's another green bar. You just click it, and you'll see all the stones for tonight. And then you can use New Year. Just pop that in the checkout when you're checking out, and you'll get 15% off. So you can pay credit card. You can pay PayPal. You can pay. We have now new financing through there through Bread. And the issue we had before was you couldn't really finance too much. So now I believe you can finance up to $10,000. Yes. I think it's, yeah. So I think you can choose like 3 months, 6 month, 12 month. So that's good.
I think I only have one stone they couldn't finance tonight.
Oh, one stone. Okay.
Yeah, everything else you can finance.
Okay. Well, there you go. But you can also do layaway. So we do have a layaway program. That just requires you to give us a call tomorrow, and we can put away a stone for you. So I think that's everything, isn't it? What am I missing? No, that's good. Oh, lastly, if you want to get these notifications about when we are doing these new shows, just there is a bell right below that you can click the bell and click to get notifications. So you'll know exactly when these new shows are happening. And if you could, and you like us, please subscribe to our channel. I like this. My brother Michael especially likes this. He wants some kind of a, he wants to get up to 100,000? 100,000. He gets some kind of framed YouTube badge or something he can wear around. So, yes. So please subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. For all of us, that would help out a lot. Yes, so that's everything. So I think we're ready to move on and talk about what's going on.
Yeah, what's going on?
Tucson is going on, right?
Tucson. Yeah, Tucson's coming up the end of the week. Me and Michael leave. Jeff will be coming later that week.
And this isn't like a vacation to go get laid by the pool. Tucson is a gem show, correct?
Yes, and we work long hours. That's what I tell my wife, right, Nancy? Yeah, which we do. We're up early and we work late. I mean, we're 10, 12-hour days every day. We're there almost 2 weeks because our motto is early bird catches the worm, and we're there early. We make appointments with all the foreign dealers coming in before the shows, because most of the shows don't happen for another week after we get there. So as people are coming in, we're meeting with them in our hotel or their hotel or wherever, and just trying to get to whatever they have first, because after I'm done with it, hopefully there's nothing left worth buying. You know, that's my goal. So, and if I don't get to it first, I miss things that would have been great. So we're really working hard every day, and you know, hopefully it's a successful trip. Hopefully all the foreign dealers do get into the country, and we just are able to really find some great things, like what you're going to see tonight. I mean, the selection we have tonight is probably the best selection maybe ever. Just a wide variety of stones and just some very high quality stones. And some of them are unique for anything I've ever cut. There's at least 2 or 3 stones they're totally unique even for me. So hopefully you enjoy the show.
Yeah, and I can say, you know, when they're at Tucson, they do work a lot. I'm the marketing guy, and one thing I always notice is we don't get to eat during the during the show. I get hungry, you know, after 4 or 5 hours, but they are there all day working with these dealers. So I don't know how you guys do it, but it's pretty crazy. But they get it done, and they are there for like 12, 13,
we feed
14.
on gems.
Feed on gems, yes, yes. I need something a little more palatable. But
we'll try and take care of you this year. You know, the taco truck out front doesn't work for you, I guess.
Yeah, I guess some of the shows had it. I think one show I always remember that you guys were talking with somebody for like 4 hours, and my stomach was just rumbling the whole time. But it's all good. So, besides that, what we had vacation for a while, Christmas, and so you got something special for Christmas this year.
I did. I got an opal ring. I don't know if we can. That's my old hand. If I can get it in focus. But really beautiful opal. And a beautiful mounting that my nephew Chris made. Thank you, Chris.
You're welcome.
So a couple of emeralds on the side and really a nice stone. This is a stone I've worn for a long time, but actually I dropped my ring on a tile floor and chipped it. So it got a little smaller. So we remade the mounting, and this came out really, really nice. I'm just very happy with it. And it'll be an exciting piece to wear out in Tucson. So thanks, Nancy. Thanks, Chris. And Michael.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a team effort for sure. So.
All right. I think we're
ready to
probably
get
ready to get in.
Right.
So again, if you do like these stones that you see, I think our last show, there was someone, I can't remember her name, but she tried to grab 2 or 3 stones and she was outdone at checkout. So if you do like one of these, grab it as soon as you can, because there are other people that are going to try to purchase it as well. So again, MoreGems.com. Click on that banner at the top that's green, and it'll take you to the whole selection of the stones you'll see tonight.
Okay. Well, the first stone we're looking at is an amethyst. This one comes from Bahia, Brazil, which produced some really great rough a couple of years back. And I bought a couple kilos, and hopefully I'll have some more stones like this to cut in the near future. Amethyst, not my favorite stone to cut. You know, pretty hard to polish. You know, what I find difficult to polish, the 2 hardest stones for sure are amethyst and actually tanzanite, which I cut a lot of. They're just difficult to get a good finish on them. It just takes a lot of work before it works out. But this one came out really nice. The video, sorry for all the dust on it. I'm not always perfect in getting these videos done. I'm the photographer and videographer, and sometimes I'm a little rushed and don't quite clean them as well as I can. So this is a really clean stone. There's nothing on the surface. That's all dust. But came out really nice. Trillium cut that weighs 10.17 carats at 16 millimeters. The appraised price, which I better discuss with you. How do we come up with an appraised price on these? It's basically from the Gem Guide. This is a market-driven independent pricing guide done by Richard Drucker, where they go to the trade shows, and a big part of it happens in Tucson, and they shop for different stones and create a price list. This is a wholesale pricing guide that many appraisers in the industry use it to produce a price. And this is where we get our appraised price on these stones, which in this case is $1,017. Our price online is $590. And with the coupon code New Year, which it's one word, as my kids had to tell me, you never split the words. It's two words. But anyway, it's New Year. It'll get you 15%. What?
No, nothing.
You say I'm showing my ignorance? Or?
No, you're good.
Okay. So, beautiful stone. I've been cutting a lot of amethyst since the Rwanda material. This material is very close to the quality of Rwanda. Rwanda was a special stone, but this material really is a beautiful color. Here's a piece of the rough. They just show some beautiful blue and reds in the material. So you get a lot of pleochroic colors coming out of these really fine amethysts. Nice deep color, but not too dark. You can get too dark in amethyst to the point where it just doesn't show its brilliance. But this stone is lively throughout. And will just make really a great pendant or a ring. Yeah. And our next stone is a tanzanite. And this tanzanite is really extraordinary stone, as you can see from the picture and video. Just a beautiful stone. And a lot of those purple flashes that you see in there are really red flash. This stone exhibits a lot of red flash, which is rare to get in tanzanite. It's more often these days I see it than I used to. It used to be almost mythological to see red flash, but right now we do get a lot of material that does display it. Not that red flash is material, is just a little extra added beauty to a stone. But not all deep fine colors show it, but occasionally you do get it. And this is one of those that it really, a lot of brilliance, intense color, and you get the red flash to it. This particular stone weighs 8.84 carats. The appraised price is $63.88. Nope, sorry, it's $11,588. And our regular price is $63.88. And with the 15% off, it takes it down to $54.30, which is $614 a carat. So really, really special stone in tanzanite. And here's a piece of rough tanzanite in its crystal form. So this is a crystal from Mineral Mike. Mike's website for mineral specimens. Actually, this is on Tanzanite Jewelry Designs, is where you'll find this. But that's a really nice specimen. So this is what some of the rough looks like before you cut it. So
this stone, sorry to interrupt.
No,
Best for pendant? Can it do a ring?
Yeah, you can do a ring. Yeah, it's not too big for a ring. Pendant is ideal. It's less prone to damage. If you like pendants, it really a good size for display. You can. It's easily visible on the neck and just has a lot of life to it. That it'll make a great pendant. But I wouldn't hesitate to do a ring, and it's not too big for a ring.
Yeah, and I guess some of the new people watching probably should explain about the custom design that we offer as well.
Sure. So all these stones, we can create a custom design for you. My nephew, Chris, who's here in the background tonight, can create a design on CAD, and then we either send you a design. If you're local, you can come in, take a look at the design. We can produce a wax for you to see how it looks on your hand. And then if you like the design, we price it for you. And if you want to go ahead, we'll produce a finished piece from any of the stones you see tonight.
Okay. And a couple questions here. Casey wanted to know on this tanzanite, is it more violet blue or is it more blue than violet? What would you say?
I don't know. You'll have to look at the site. I don't know if I don't
Here,
have
I can
the
take
two
it. Let's
lights
see.
here. I think this one's a good mix, but on the site it will. Can you?
So blue violet exceptional 45%, 55%.
So blue violet. It's a little more violet, but it's a good mix of the two. I mean, that's the ideal situation, as far as I see it. Is those, that are. In this case, it's 40. What is it?
45, 55.
45, 55. So it's almost an even mix of the two, and that's really in that middle range is where I find the most beautiful stones, because those stones that exhibit both colors particularly evenly, you'll find that in all lighting situations, it's a beautiful stone. Sorry, I was a little distracted. I see a little chip on the stone. I don't know if I fixed that. I'll fix it before you get it, though, if you're interested in this stone. Not unusual where when you see, I spent all day today looking at $250,000 worth of tanzanite that came in from India. And you go through there, and the way they pack them, there's 100 stones in a bag. And they end up chipping each other, and so you end up with these little minor chips on it that I end up sitting down repairing, and as you can see, this one right along the edge of the table there's a little chip, so you dop it up and you cut that out, which it's an easy job, but just kind of a hassle. So I try and just really been avoiding stones with chips in them. Sometimes you see one with amazing color that you just can't avoid it, and you're going to have to repair it. And I actually bought a few today that need total recuts, but the color was so incredible that it's worth spending the time to sit down, and it's easier to cut already cut stone than cutting from rough, so you know what you're going to get, and you just lose anywhere from 10 to 30% in recuts, so you have to figure that into whether it's worth to buy because of the weight loss that you have in them.
And for the new people out there, how long have you been cutting for?
Ever. Since early 80s.
Yes.
I started cutting in maybe 83.
Yeah. So, okay. So just cutting for you is kind of second nature by this point.
Yeah, mostly. Yes. Yeah. It's still sometimes tedious. This month I really wore myself out. I was going to cut one more stone for the show, and I just had it, because I've been cutting, I cut about 18 stones in the last 15 days, and also doing our regular job also, and producing all the videos and stuff, and I just got tired of cutting, and but it is much easier. That's why I can cut a stone in 4 or 5 hours, and a lot of people take 20 hours to cut a stone, and I used to take 8-10 hours, and just have gotten much quicker, and but still it's not an easy job, particularly these tanzanites. They're it's for the stone I specialize in. It's unfortunate it's so hard to polish. It just takes extra time, and I sit down and cut some of the stones that I cut for the show, like the Tourmalines and the garnets, almost any of the other stones. They're just simple to polish in comparison. And I'm going, maybe I ought to quit cutting tanzanite, but You know, when it's 70% of your business, I guess I can't quit cutting it. But, you know, it's
No, it's amazing how many requests come in through chat and forums asking to be your like apprentice in cutting. You know, do you have apprentices?
Yeah, well,
You know?
that's why we produce videos online of cutting to try and help new people cut, because I don't have the time to sit down with people because it takes a lot of time to teach somebody. So like me, I had somebody show me through one stone, and then it just was spending a lot of time on my own learning how to cut, and you know, it probably took a couple of years to get proficient at it, and much more than that to get really proficient at it. But you know, it's something that if you think you would enjoy it, I'd say give it a try. You know, all these stones were cut on this machine back here, the Ultratech V5. And if I'd have had that machine when I started cutting, life would have been much, much easier. I would have learned much quicker, because the machine is really the key. You know, there is a lot of things that you have to know about cutting, but having a machine that will assist you and won't screw up, like the machines I had previously, you know, they just you really had to put a lot of effort into making a cut right. Whereas once you get the basics down, having a good machine like the Ultratech V5 would just make it so much easier. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you're interested in it, spend the money and get a good machine. And even if you can't do it, used machinery is selling for such good prices that you'll get 80% of what you put into it, even if it doesn't work out for you. You know, but for most people, you can. I could teach almost anybody how to cut, but there are a few people that, you know, may never learn it. You know, it's just the nature of it. It's a machining, pretty technical skill, but well worth it and a lot of fun. Oop, probably talked enough there.
I don't know. I think you answered everybody's question. So
Okay. All right.
more stones.
Up next is a tourmaline. Tourmaline, this new material out of the Democratic Republic of Congo, is really, really some extraordinary stones. You know, particularly, I'm really fond of peach-colored stones, and I haven't seen peach-colored tourmalines probably since the 80s, maybe the 90s. It was coming out of Madagascar, and a friend of mine was traveling to Madagascar, and I was getting some of this peach material out of there, and eventually I started going to Madagascar. But so now my greatest interest in the tourmalines from the Democratic Republic of Congo, I'm really focused on these peach colors because it is a rare color worldwide. And they kind of look like the Patparaja sapphires, which is, Patparaja is the most valued of the sapphires, and these are reminiscent of Patparaja colors. If they were sapphires, we'd definitely call them Patparajas. They're kind of pink-orange or peachy color. You know, so it's a gem I'm really fond of, and I'm buying this material whenever I can. This particular stone weighs 2.05 carat. It's kind of a mixed round brilliant pavilion and a step cut crown, which is a combination I do often. I just think it produces a really nice brilliance. So this stone would appraise at $820. $450 is our online price, and with the 15 off, it's $383. It's a really bright, sparkly stone. Looks like we have a sale.
Yes, we do. So this one here, the
tourmaline.
The tourmaline you're just
cool.
talking about.
Cool.
Yep.
You know, interesting thing about this. This was really a disaster stone. It sold down. What the hell? And I say that it was a disaster for me, because this is one of the few stones I'm actually going to lose money on. But for the disaster, that's a good thing, because I'm not losing much. And this stone, it was, I should have bought a piece of rough to show you. This is a material that was real similar to tourmaline from way back in the late 80s from Zambia. Has a rind on it. The rind is a different color than the center of the stone. And those stones, until you got the rind off, it was at risk of fracturing. And this stone, it's exactly what happened. You know, I actually got through the rind. I started cutting it, and it just literally split in half on me. I mean, 2/3 of the stone just split off, fractured, and I was left with a small piece. You know, this stone should have probably been 6 or 7 carats and ended up at 2 carats. So I'm happy to just about break even and have such a disaster because the stone came out great, you know, and once they fracture, the stress is gone. It's internal stress that causes that. So there's no risk now that it's cut. But it was one of those stones that makes for kind of an unhappy day. But, you know, fortunately it wasn't much bigger, but, you know, so. And it's kind of cool that you still, you know, you have a disaster and you still don't lose a lot of money, you know, so.
All right. Tell all your friends it was a disaster stone.
Yeah, it's a disaster stone. Yeah.
Turn it into
But
something.
it's a great stone. Everybody's going to love it that you show it too. It's really a beautiful stone.
Something I want to know, a couple people have said this tonight that the sound is kind of low. Just want to make sure. Yeah, 2 people. Well, not, yeah. So 2 people mentioned the sound
So
being
which
low.
one, which of us, is it my mic or?
I'm not sure. If any of
Jeff's
you, you know, want to mention up in the chat if it's me or if it's Steve, and we'll try to, Michael will be in the background trying to get this sound up for us.
Yeah, you might have to push your mic a little bit more.
Can I turn it up here?
No.
Oh. Whoa.
Steve, I guess. Jeff,
It's me.
I'm louder. So I
Okay.
guess it's me, or it's
I
not
don't
me.
know. We'll see. I turned up his gain a little bit, so we'll see if that works.
All right.
All right.
Otherwise,
Let
just
us know how my mic is now.
Yeah.
Let Mike know how my mic is. Okay. Our next stone, really a unique garnet. I have never in my time in business seen this color in garnet. Just a really vivid color. I see sapphire with colors like this, but garnet is just such an unusual color. Okay. This was actually a recut. This particular stone was one I bought as a cut stone. I bought 3 of them. This was the biggest of them. They were cut with a faceted pavilion and a cabochon crown. So I could see the color was good, and the crown just kind of made them die. You know, they just didn't have the life, and they were cut real shallow, so there was no brilliance in the center. When you look at the video of this stone, you know, those real fine, dark lines in there they're not visible. You know, it's a nature of doing these close-up videos that you can't hide anything within the stones. So those you don't see when you look at the stone. They're apparent in the video, but when you get the stone, you just won't see that. But really a unique color. It's sold to me as a pyrope garnet. I can't tell you if it truly is pyrope. I do know it's garnet because those lines that are in it, they intersect at a particular angle that is indicative of garnet. You'll see them in sapphire also, but they come in at different angles between the sapphire and garnets. They just they intersect. The fibers cross and they intersect. So it makes a very distinctive identification for these garnets. You'll see it in many, many types of garnets. I don't know if I can. That's a little better. But this really is a beautiful color. And And this particular stone weighs 5.88 carats. Appraised value on it is $35.30. Our online price $29.40, and with the 15% off, it's $24.99. So a nice, good-sized garnet, and really, really a special color. This particular stone comes from Tanzania. Another sale?
Yes. So Suzette purchased the Brazilian amethyst that
cool.
you talked about earlier.
All right. Yeah, these amethysts have sold pretty much as quick as I cut them. I have a lot of material to cut, but it's just hard to find the time to cut it. And unfortunately, it's a kind of a value of cutting what's worthwhile to me. I mean, if I could sit down and cut all those stones and, they'd make good money, but when I can cut 8-carat tanzanite and the same time I cut an 8-carat amethyst, sometimes you got to decide whether you want to sell a $500 stone or a $5,000 stone is the issue with cutting these amethysts. I'll try and sit down and cut more because I know they sell, but I have a lot of tanzanite to cut too. So that's why you don't see a lot of the amethyst on our website. All right. And our next stone is another tourmaline coming from the Democratic Republic of Congo. This particular source has produced probably the last 6-7 years, maybe. I lose track of time, but I probably should have been on it quicker, but I was so into tanzanite that I really didn't follow the tourmaline market. I'm going to follow it more just for one reason. It's so easy to polish. It's just a pleasure to sit down and cut it. So much easier. Cutting tanzanite is such a hassle. I understand why a lot of people don't do it. Not only do you have to deal with the difficult polish, you have to heat it, and there's always risks in heating. So there's a lot of issues with cutting tanzanites that you don't have with these tourmalines. It's just such a pleasure to sit down and cut it. So I will be looking for more tourmaline in Tucson. We'll see what's available. Yeah, why is it so dark? So this is another beautiful cut. This is you'll find that this style of cutting I do consistently.
Lighten up.
Yeah, it's good. And it's a Barian style pavilion. I've just got this style of cutting down real well, and it produces a great stone no matter what you cut, and works real well for anything fancy. Just a technique that I've cut 1,000 of them, so it's gotten easy. And always produces beautiful brilliance. So it's a Barian style pavilion and a step cut crown. And you just get a really, really good look out of it. So this particular tourmaline weighs 3.95 carat. Appraised value is $2,070. $1,290 is our price online, and $10.96 is the price with the coupon code New Year. So here's a little piece of rough that I also was going to try and get for this show, but didn't quite get to it. This is a really nice bicolor. Could use that white paper. And we've seen a lot more bicolors in the last couple years, not only from the Democratic Republic of Congo, but quite a few sources are producing. And before that, we probably went 15 years of almost no material.
Tricolor, huh?
Yeah, it's a tricolor. So this is going to kind of really clean stone and just going to be a nice split of color. And if you look on the website, we have quite a few bicolors, and I have probably 10 or 15 more in stock that haven't made the website. So if you're ever interested in a particular stone, definitely call us because it's hard for me to get all the material that we have cut and get it on the site, mainly because I'm doing all the videoing and just a limited amount of time. But we have a lot of stones and many, many tanzanites. We have 10 times the amount of tanzanite as what's on our website. So if you ever have an interest in something particular or something a little different, what you see on the site, just give us a call and we'll try and show you what we have in stones and in the vault.
This Tourmaline Glaxo wants to know if it's been heat treated or not.
Most of the material that's coming out of the Democratic Republic of Congo is not treated, to my knowledge. I've been told that these aren't, but that only goes so far. You trust your suppliers. I'll know more after Tucson, after I look at a lot more tourmalines and find out, because everybody's been saying they're not treated. And a lot of the colors, I believe that's true. Those peaches and pinks, I don't think those have been treated. A lot of material in tourmaline that's been treated is because it's too dark. So, to tell you 100% that I know they're not treated, I don't, but I'm told consistently from my suppliers that they aren't. So I'll try and find out more in Tucson, just what the true story of the tourmalines from the DRC are. And much of the rough I see is lighter color. That's one thing you find out about the tourmalines from the Democratic Republic of Congo. Rarely are they too dark. I don't see it in the rough at all. So my tendency is to believe that they're not treated. So. And our next stone up is a hidden gem.
I don't think we explained the hidden gem.
Oh.
Yeah.
Tell us about hidden gems, Jeffrey.
So the hidden gems will only pop up on the website once they go live here. We know some people like to sneak ahead and purchase the stones.
So we hide them.
Yes. So these are hidden. So you can actually now find it on the website. And the nice other thing about these hidden gems that is good is that they are actually 30% off. So you're going to use the coupon code RARE30. These are only good for the hidden gems, and this is the first hidden gem.
All right. So this is a fancy tanzanite. This is one of the rare colors that you occasionally see in tanzanite. I'm always looking for colors other than the blue purple just because they sell well for me. They're so rare, just very, very difficult to come up with any material that cuts these unusual colors. So it's always a good thing to have, and hopefully we'll find a lot more. These colors, particularly, like pinks are really, really rare, and you can get into a couple thousand a carat in a fine pink tanzanite, so they do bring greater money just because of their rarity. On the last trip I was in Tanzania, they'd hit a pretty good sized pocket of fancies. I was so thrilled that I got these fancies. I probably got 10 fancy colors, and I hadn't seen one in years, but of course it was a pocket hit, and at that time everybody had them, so for a very short time there was a lot of material available, and it really was like for a month, because this was a pocket hit in one mine that produced all this material. So it was one of those here today, gone tomorrow, but I was a little disappointed that there was everybody had a little bit of it at the time. But as quickly as it came, it's gone. And that's a situation now again that there is so little material available. So this is kind of a unique color. It displays different colors, has some dispersion in the gem. When you look at it in the right light, you'll see it disperses different colors. Yep. So just a beautifully cut stone. I didn't cut this stone, but the cutter is really good cutter also.
Oh, it said, yeah.
What's that?
I must have thought you cut it because it has such a nice cut.
Oh, well, thanks. Yeah. No, it's a cutter I use that he really, really does a good job, and I could say I cut it, but I didn't. Yeah.
So that's a mistake I put on there, cut by Steve.
Oh.
That's what.
Oh, it wasn't cut by Steve.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's a really wonderful stone, great shape, real popular cut, and it's a cut that I've looked at close, and I'd like to kind of duplicate this cut. I like to do one in a blue tanzanite like it, and but the cut really works in lighter material probably the best, just because it produces so much brilliance, and in deep color material like a deep fine tanzanite, sometimes a cut that produces great brilliance doesn't work as well, but really worth a try because this color cut really worked. So I'll map it out and try and reproduce this cut sometime here in the near future. Did I give the specifics on this one? So it's a carat 80. Is that right? No, it's fancy tanzanite. It's a 2.08 carat. Appraised value $1,960 on our website, $1,460, and with 30% off, it's $1,022. Up next is another one of those stones of questionable time to value, but they just cut so beautiful that it's hard not to sit down and cut a blue topaz occasionally. Another stone I know it will sell because so much brilliance and such a beautiful color. I mean, there's no other gem that has a blue that looks like this. And this is another one of those Berrien styles, same Berrien pavilion and a step cut crown. Again, just because it works so well. Just it's hard to get much more brilliance than you see out of this stone. Yeah. So here's a piece of blue topaz rough. Now this is natural color. The cut stone that we're showing you is they irradiate them to color. They take it's generally colorless topaz, irradiate it. The particular Swiss blue is done in a cyclotron. So they bombard it and it alters the color. Whereas this particular stone I'm showing you here is a natural blue topaz. And this one is on your website, Mineral Mike,
Yep.
This particular piece. So you don't see these natural blue crystals very often. And this will be an irradiated. So this one's irradiated, tumbled. Typically they tumble them just because it does make the color look better. Not that this one needed much help because it is a beautiful color. And we'll cut a color much like the stone we're showing you now. So this blue topaz, 12.91 carat, $903 is the appraised value. $580 is what the price on our website is. And with the 15 off, it's $493.
Bargain. Big stone too.
Yeah. Make a great piece.
For pendant.
For sure. Show us. Sure.
Oh yeah, wow.
So make a beautiful pendant or a ring. Not too big for a ring. What do you think, Nance? Could I pull this one off? I'm going to check later to make sure my wife's watching, so I'm going to ask her about all the times that I mentioned her tonight and see if she's sleeping or watching. So next stone. This is an interesting stone. I've cut this one twice. This stone was a recut. I had an 8.5 millimeter blue topaz that I'd bought that was actually cut a little shallow. So I recut it and produced really a beautiful stone. Sold it. The lady that wore it unfortunately hit it on something and took a chip out of it. So she brought it back, and I recut it and then credited her for this stone and got her a new stone for her mounting. This is a recut of a round, which actually came out really well, and I did lose a lot of weight. It weighed, I think, 2 carat 20 maybe. So the recut actually worked out real well, and still is a beautiful, beautiful color. This is kind of a unique stone that I'll try and duplicate this cut again, even though the way it came about wasn't a normal design, because I kept the same basic design in the pavilion because there was no damage to the pavilion, and just kind of cut the two sides of it, and just came out really well. So we have another sale.
Yes, we have 2 sales.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
So, some questions here. So we sold the Barian. Is it the Barian? No, antique cushion cut that you were just talking about.
The topaz.
No, the cushion. Isn't this the cushion?
Oh,
Tanzanite.
oh, the square cushion tanzanite.
Yeah, isn't this the one we're talking about right now?
No. This one?
Yes, this one.
It's been a while since we've done
Antique
a show,
cushion,
so we're
yeah.
not.
This one. Yes.
Oh, okay.
This.
Oh, cool.
Tanzanite.
Yeah, it's a beauty.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna love it.
And I went to Laura, so thank you, Laura.
Okay, thanks, Laura. Yeah.
And then Martha picked up the fancy tanzanite.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Cool.
Knew that one was going to go quick.
Yeah. Thank you.
Both of
Yes,
you,
I
thank
do
you.
love the cut on that one. All right. Well, I don't have to talk about that one anymore then. Oh, cool. Okay. Next stone.
Look at that.
Yeah. It's a special piece. Yeah. And the selection tonight, I mean, this is by far the best selection we've had. And hopefully we'll find a lot of material in Tucson that we can keep producing stones like this, because our goal this year is produce a lot more mounted goods. We've spent a lot of our time doing repairs for people here locally, and we're going to cut out some of the repairs that we do. We, of course, will repair anything we make, but we're not going to take in all the repairs off the street. So we can free up our shop and start producing more finished goods and really sit down and start cutting more and producing just a lot of nice finished pieces. And we've even talked about doing these shows, maybe having shows with finished pieces also. Well, we'll see if that happens, but it's a possibility.
If I can cut in here.
Uh-huh.
Just because we have a lot of new people watching, again, to purchase any of these stones, you can go to MoreGems.com. The spelling is right at the bottom of this video. And if you go to that site, there's a big green banner at the top of the site. You click it, and you can see all the stones that we're featuring tonight. And then you can use the coupon code New Year for 15% off. You can pay credit card, you can pay PayPal, you can pay financing through Bread for up to 12 months, up to $10,000. Or if you want to do a layaway, you can also give us a call tomorrow morning, and we'd be happy to hold the stone for you. And lastly, if you like us, please subscribe below. Builds up our followers, and then you'll always be, if you click notification, you'll always be notified when our next show is. So, okay.
Got it all in there?
I think
Thank
so.
you, Jeffrey. Okay, next stone, another tourmaline from Congo.
So, Carrie tried to bribe me not to put this one online.
Oh, really?
She loves this stone.
Ah,
I was working on those overlays last night, and she said, "How about you don't put that one on there?" But
I've-
it's a great one. Yeah.
yeah, it's a good stone. And I've got more to cut. And hopefully, I hope we'll get lucky in Tucson
That's what I
and find some more tourmaline, and because these are really, really special stones, and it's a pleasure to have such a wide variety of colors. And of course, these peach has always been my favorite gem. Malaya garnet that comes this color has always been my favorite. Probably always will be, but the Malaya garnet's very, very difficult to get these colors right now. And the price is just crazy money. A Malaya this size is $1,500, $2,000 a carat. So this material is the bargain right now for this peach color. Like I say, you can get padparachas like this in sapphire. Of course, those are $10,000 a carat. But so this is a really, really good stone to own right now, and I'm going to buy as much as I can. And hopefully I haven't missed out, and hopefully it continues to be available. So this is a 6.70 carat. And again, that Barian style combination, and it's just a kind of a cool in this hexagon. Just really worked out well for brilliance. This particular stone weighs 6.70. The appraised price on it is $1,590. Nope, sorry, $4,020. $1,590 is our price online, and 15% off with the coupon code New Year. Yep. So this stone, depending on the light you're in, looks like I need to wipe it off. It can be slightly more pink or more peach. It varies a little bit, which is real common in tourmalines of this color. Yep. So just really a lot of life to it. And such a pretty color.
Yeah, there's like not a dead spot in that.
No. Yeah, it mesmerizes me. So I'll show you what this is the piece of rough that looked similar to this. This will be,
You got that white piece of paper.
so that's what the rough looks like.
So which axis did you cut down? C?
That one I cut on the C, I think. So this is the C axis. This is the A and the B axis. So most have 3 different color axes. So this will display one color down this way, and it can be really dramatic in tourmaline. You know, these are nice because both axes are a pretty color, whereas in many tourmalines, some of them are one axis is very pretty and the other axis is ugly, and you have to work your way to try and keep the ugly axis out of the look of the stone. So this will be another stone similar to the 6 carat 70 we're looking at now. Real similar color. And up next is a Heliodor. You know, we've had a couple of these on the shows, and, you know, I was real lucky. I don't know, when did we get these in Denver or before that?
Maybe. I honestly,
Yeah.
you haven't cut many of these, and these are just like,
Yeah,
show
they're,
me these, they're
yeah.
outstanding.
Well, so they are really an amazing color. You know, as I've mentioned before, you know, really the last time I had this color available to me was, wow, a long time ago, back in the 80s. You know, so it's not easy to get Heliodor this color. Usually it's a little greenish. You know, these just have a beautiful kind of golden yellow color. Again, it's that same style of cutting, so you'll see a lot of it from me. You know, back when I was on the road in the 80s and 90s selling to jewelers, many of them just called me Mr. Berrien, because I cut a lot of Berrien styles, you know, which it was very new at that time. Berrien, it was Basil Watermeyer was the original designer of this style of cutting. So his name was Basil and his wife's name was Marion, so an acronym Berrien. So it's just a cutting style that works real well in most gems. Surprised we don't see it more in diamond, but probably a yield issue maybe in diamond. But I've seen a few cut in diamond, and they look beautiful also. You want to show this crystal, Mike? Oop. Yep. So this is kind of what is typical of Heliodor and most beryls, aquamarines. You know, these are all related. Emerald, aquamarine, Heliodor are all the same gem, just different colors caused by different trace elements. But this is the typical crystal shape. And this particular Heliodor is, again, available on mineralmike.com. So that Heliodor weighs 7.11. Nope, that's a 7.84 carat. Appraised price $2,270. Our price online $1,190, and with the 15 off, it's $1,011. And another sale.
Yes. We want to thank Lancy. Just purchased the Berrien
I don't know. There's too many of them.
Topaz. Blue Topaz.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That was cool.
Cool.
Stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought that sold, but.
Yep. Well, it just did.
Cool.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. A lot of new names I haven't heard.
Yes. Yeah. A lot of new viewers tonight. And for everybody viewing, you can, if you log in, there's a chat on the right-hand side, and you can ask any types of questions that you want, and I'll try to get to them with Steve. For example, these two. The Tourmaline that we had 2 stones ago, or 1 stone ago.
Yeah, the peach.
The peach. How would you set that? What would be the best way for jewelry?
You mean where? Well, I mean, you know, it's a tough enough stone. You can set it in any style of jewelry. You can be ring, pendant, bracelet, whatever. So, you know, you can, you know, pretty much anything you see on our websites, which are tanzanitejewelrydesigns.com, MoreGems.com, you know, any styles you see there, we can do for this stone or almost any stone we have. So if you have a picture of something you like, or you know, if you have any basic idea of what you want, just let us know what your thoughts are, and we'll try and produce you a design that'll work for this stone. Don't know if that answers your question, but
That's a pretty good answer.
It's a tough enough stone that you can do pretty much anything with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Low stressed. Yeah, nice job. Yeah, it's good name. Low stressed wants to know, on average, how long does it take for you to work to cut these pieces? I know you mentioned something earlier, but
Yeah,
new people are always popping in.
You know, it can be from 4 to 6 hours typically. You know, and some big stones take longer. You know, I've taken 30 hours to cut a stone, but I try to not do that. And it's rare I take that long anymore. But when you get into really large stones, at the beginning of the video, there was a 571 carat stone I cut. Now that took a long time. You know, that's the 30, 40 hour stones, just because of the sheer size of them and, you know, a lot of steps involved. But on average, I'm probably in the 4 hour range to cut a stone.
Is there a certain cut style that takes longer?
Yeah, Portuguese rounds, you know, because there's 161 facets. Even though it's all very repetitive, it just takes a lot of time. You know, you probably add another hour to the process just because of the amount of facets. You know, and certain stones take longer to polish, like the tourmalines or the tanzanite and amethyst. So you can probably add a half hour, an hour for cutting those. But size of stones makes a big difference too. You know, if it's a 2 carat stone, I could probably knock an hour off. So 3 hours to cut. What a 5 carat stone would take an extra hour to cut. You know, size makes a difference in how fast things polish. So.
All right. Low stressed. I hope that answers your question. All right.
All right. Next stone is another Heliodor, or golden beryl. These are from Brazil. And again, same kind of cutting style, just different shape. And you can see the kind of brilliance it produces. You know, very difficult to find a more brilliant cut for all, particularly fancy shapes. You know, it's an easy cutting style to work into these fancy shapes. And there's just no dead spots in them. Again, this Heliodor, this particular one weighs 7.11 carats, a price of $21.30. Our online price $1,280, and with the 15 off, with the coupon code New Year, it is $1,088. And not to one up my son's crystal.
It's like 20 ups.
Yeah. Here's a piece of Heliodor.
Give it a white background. It'll make that look much better.
Just a huge crystal. And really a beautiful crystal. I will cut this one day because nobody's going to pay me for the crystal what I can get from a cut stone for this, because this is going to cut a 50 carat plus Heliodor. So $5,000 or more from the cut stone of this.
Somebody might pay you that.
Maybe. I don't know. I want to, though. It'd be such a spectacular cut stone. Yeah. And you just never, ever see them this big cut. You know, people in the mineral trade like Michael, they hate to think you're going to cut something like this. I don't think Michael's got so much issue with it because he's used to cut stones. But people in the trade, trading mineral specimens, would just want to scream thinking I would cut this. But it will happen one day. Maybe this year. Yeah.
Do a video on it.
Yeah.
People have been
So
asking
it's just a monster, really. Make a nice pendant. But that's what they'll cut. You know, although this one, you know, cutting that long crystal, it's not going to be as brilliant as this. Just, you know, it's probably one of the things that's kept me from cutting it is because figuring out how to make a really lively stone out of it and something beautiful, which maybe an opposed bar, but we lose a lot of weight. I don't know. That's the real hold up for cutting a piece like that is how do you make something look as beautiful as what you're looking at on the screen now. So these Heliodors come from Brazil. They are typically enhanced by irradiation. And up next is something totally new for us. I haven't had a crystal beryl in, I can't remember when.
It's a hidden gem.
Oh, and it's a hidden gem.
It is a hidden gem.
Yeah, we got
Okay, it's a hidden gem.
So you just need to refresh if you're looking at the. Just need to refresh the page if you're looking at the category with all the gems, and it will now show up.
magic.
So chrysoberyl is another chrysoberyl that we know of is alexandrite. This is just a yellow form. This particular stone comes from Sri Lanka. Chrysoberyl is a very hard and durable material. So you can put it in a ring and wear it, and you know it's gonna take a lot of abuse. Just a really lovely color, nice clean stone, and just big for chrysoberyl. You know, weighs 4.19 carats. And this one, a appraised value of $2,490. On our website, $1,675, and with the 30% off, it's $1,172. Chrysoberyl, typically you don't get big sizes in it, and this is just a pretty good sized stone. You know, this is a stone, if it were alexandrite, maybe it'd be $150,000, or, you know, of course, Alex is special, color changing, but chrysoberyl is a special material, and you just don't see it very often. Yes.
You kind of talk about not seeing it that often. James wanted to know, you know, he's been seeing a lot of stones coming out of Afghanistan and Pakistan. I wanted to know if you've ever traveled to any of those countries for gemstones.
No, I haven't been. You know, they've always been difficult places to go to for most of my time in business. So I haven't been to either. I don't think it's in my lifetime either. You know, interesting countries and have produced some great stones. Afghanistan has produced a large quantity of tourmalines, and you know, I used to see the soldiers coming back with them. Occasionally they got what they were told, but often didn't. You know, it was a place that people would be selling gems there that didn't come from there, and there were synthetics, and but the soldiers, I guess they nothing else to do, so they often looked at stones there and brought back quite a few. And occasionally I saw some good deals from there, but not very often. But Tourmaline is probably what they're best known for. And they've produced some really beautiful tourmalines, and I've cut many from there. And I've cut a lot of stones from Pakistan, including a lot of peridot. Peridot is probably what Pakistan has produced the finest quality of, probably the finest in the world has come from Pakistan. Aquas, and there was been quite a few different stones that came from that area of the world. Yeah, but just never been a safe place, of course, to go. So,
another question. Well, you talked about the crystal beryl being very durable for rings or pendants. Someone asked, I believe maybe she saw another show, but Sphene, is that good enough for a ring, or is that pendant only?
Well, Sphene's questionable. Yeah, I would say don't put it in a ring. And I'll show you a Sphene that's amazing here shortly. But Sphene, it's just not hard enough. It's in the 5.5 range, and you're just gonna damage it in a ring. Yeah.
Okay.
So up next, another fancy tanzanite.
So fancy.
Not a big stone, but what a color. Another of those peach colors that I'm so fond of. Again, probably another Berrien style. Wow, look at that. It is. So this is a little kite. What's that weigh? It's a carat and 52. And this in tanzanite is really, really rare color. Just like the pinks. It's just so rare to see this kind of color. These fancy tanzanites are 1 in a million type stones, and this one I've had maybe 2 or 3 this color in my time in business. So this particular stone, appraised value of $3,040. On our site, it's $1,520, and with the 15 off, it's $1,292. So hopefully we'll get more of these fancy colors. Always looking for them, just don't see them often. And up next, kind of an unusual stone. Not they don't exist, but it's rare that they're this colorless. Friend of mine coined the name on these platinum beryl. Goshenite is the common name for colorless. And this is really, really colorless. We graded this as D to E color, which is in diamond grading, that's the top color grades. So typically there'd be some yellow to these, or just some secondary colors, but there's just no secondary color in this stone. I purchased, I think, 3 of these, and in testing them, one of them came out to be topaz, which topaz is. You can find colorless topaz in 100 kilo size, so it's not uncommon. So we are testing these stones to figure out what they are, and the supplier, of course, took it back, no problem. But because the platinum beryl is 50 times more expensive than what topaz would be, so the value is in the beryl and not in the topaz. So but they both cut beautiful stones. Topaz probably could even cut more brilliant, but just not worth cutting. It's such a common material. But this goshenite in this kind of colorless state I just don't see it like this often. And the nice big stone weighs 17 karat. Another thing, you don't see very large stones, and you don't see them square very often because the crystals are those long pencil shapes. So this cut to be a nice bright stone. Wipe it off a little bit. Praise value on this platinum beryl is $1,780. Our price online $1,485. With 15 off, it's $1,292. This weighs 17 carats.
So would this be too big for a ring, or?
No, I just made a ring that was, how big was that morganite?
That was pretty big.
It was 50 carat.
Was it?
Yeah.
50?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
It's a big morganite.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the size. It was a big ring, but I'm assuming she loved it, but she was after a big ring. Can't get it clean enough. So, yeah, it would make a big ring, but not, well, if you like big rings, it's not too big, And if you're interested in a ring, we can send you a picture of what we did with the morganite. And, it actually ended up being a real wearable piece, just wasn't too big or, it was big. But if you like big, it was wearable, let's put it that way. So really attractive, colorless stone. Sorry, I can't get all the dust off it. Just really difficult to get these stones clean, as you can see from my videos. Takes a lot of work to get all that dust off.
I personally like these colorless ones. I went to the last Tucson show I went with you guys. What did I buy? One of the gray spinels, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't colorless.
It was gray.
It
was
gray.
platinum. What's the difference?
Yeah, that's one of those stones I had a hard time understanding, gray spinels, why people bought it. But, I've learned that the colors people are looking at are different these days. We look at colors differently, and, people are picking stones that I used to, the market just used to didn't accept, and now the colors are very popular, which is true of our last trip to Montana. A lot of the colors up there didn't used to be popular. Now they're just the hottest things in the market. So it's a changing market, and we're trying to keep up with the change and open our minds to different colors, because definitely the market has gone to almost any color is appealing to somebody. It's just like clothes. The clothes we wear, the colors, we all like something different. So you'll start seeing more different colors from us. What's the right color is no longer follows the same rules that it used to. Here's a piece of the rough platinum beryl. Not really a crystal shape, it's just kind of a broken crystal. But again, a really clean, colorless material. And that's the big thing. Just like a diamond, finding material that is the high colors is rare. They all have typically secondary colors, but these are just white stones.
So you identified that using specific gravity to rule out it being quartz or...
Yeah, a couple of tools, but the specific gravity, it's a huge difference between the topaz and beryl. topaz being much heavier. When you grab a good sized piece of topaz, it just feels heavy. And beryl is a much lower density. So it's an easy separation with specific gravity.
Question somebody had. I know we were just talking about gray spinels. Do you cut spinels that often, or yes, no?
No, I've cut. We used to get material from Tajikistan, which was in pink and kind of peachy pink colors, and they're still produced from there. But I haven't cut a lot of spinel. Again, the colors typically available, are what I used to think of not attractive, but it's again changing market, and I always look at spinels. I just haven't seen anything too often that's thrilled me. The stuff that came from Mahenge is a beautiful color, but they've gotten very, very expensive. The pinks and they go to almost red, and they're typically can be 2,000-3,000 a carat for that material. And I just don't see much rough. I haven't seen much rough in spinel that was worthy of buying, but I have cut many over the years. So hopefully see some more. We'll see if there's any in Tucson.
We got some nice red spinel crystals.
Yeah. Michael on Mineral Mike has some beautiful red spinel crystals, and a few that, probably should consider cutting. They won't cut flawless, but could be worthwhile cutting them.
One in particular.
Yeah, we probably should think about cutting that if you have it much longer.
Yeah.
So they got that just before the embargo on Burma. I think we were a month ahead of the embargo because of the situation over there. It's been a couple of times back when I was the last time maybe I was in Thailand, in Thailand. I'd bought Burmese ruby, and that while I was there were shooting monks, and I thought, oh boy, I'm gonna end up coming into the country, and now I've banned it. But it was a month after I got back that they banned the imports of anything from Burma. So that's happened again now, and we've been lucky enough to get some material just before it and before the ban, and so now you can't buy anything from Burma currently in the gems legally. So.
One more question. Shelley wanted to know about the crystal beryl. I know you said it was very rare, but she was wondering if it comes in other colors.
Well, like I mentioned, alexandrite, which is a color changes from green to red. Yes, I've seen some. There was for a while some beautiful greens that came out of Tanzania. That's been 10, 15 years ago. Most of what I've seen in my time has been yellow or greenish yellow to green. Haven't seen a lot of crystal beryl in my whole time in the business. I can't think of what other colors I have seen. It's just a pretty rare material, in any color range. So, the greens that came out of Tanzania, they kind of glowed green. They were just really spectacular. A little reminiscent of the next stone we're going to show you, which I recently told somebody was the rarest stone available. Whether that's true. It's a really, really rare stone, and now pretty much non-existent. This material is highlight opal. We bought highlight, and I meant to. Where's my phone? It's there. Excuse me 1 second. Yeah. Not sure where I kept it. Well, you know, this stone, I told the owners of the company that we bought this from, which is, Geminex. The owner died recently. You know, both him and his wife died recently, and I said I would dedicate it to him. And unfortunately, I don't have his name right away. But, you know, we got all this material from them. They were pretty much the sole source of this material. And the last time we saw them, we cleaned out everything they had, you know, down to, you know, they gave us a box that had all the scraps in the bottom. And actually, there was one of them was a really good scrap. So we appreciate it and appreciate the material they've supplied us over the years. And once I get this on the site, I'll put up his name. Sorry, I meant to have that handy. But you know, we appreciate them supplying this material, and it is what I consider to be one of the rarest gems that I've ever dealt in. And I say that because it was discovered in 2016 or 15 or 14 and was gone by 2016. You know, so a very short supply. This material was in a hill down in Zacatecas, Mexico, and it ran in a layer that ran across this hill. And by the time they stripped through that layer, it just was all gone, you know. So many didn't realize what the rarity of this material was, because you can find highlight opal in many locations. We found it in Nevada. That was highlight that we bought those pieces from the opal mine.
Was it?
I don't know what else it'd be.
It was just a common opal. No?
I don't know.
Fluorescent. I don't
It
know.
was fluorescent and radioactive.
Yeah, I don't know whether. I don't know.
But anyway, you know, highlight is not a really rare stone. But what makes this one rare is its daylight fluorescence. You know, daylight fluorescence is a characteristic that you find in a few gems, but it's just rare that you get a material that fluoresces. You know, this material, if you put a UV light on it, all highlight opal will fluoresce. But this material, if you take it out in daylight, as you'll see in this video, it will fluoresce just with the minimum amount of UV light in daylight. You know, and here we're in the middle of winter when this is done, and it still fluoresces strongly, even though it was a cloudy day and very little UV light, it still fluoresces strongly in UV. So that's what makes this type of highlight opal so rare. You know, this material in stones up to a carat is exceedingly rare. Stones over that are almost non-existent. You know, we've had 3 or 4 stones larger than a carat, but this one weighs 3.30 carats. So like I said, this is recently a customer asked me what the rarest stone, and this is the first thing that came to mind, that this is really the rarest gem we have. You know, almost never clean. This is about as clean as we get it. I did have a 2 carat that was completely clean. They tend to show the characteristic of the surface of this material is what we call botryoidal, which is like bubbly. And you'll always see this bubbly kind of flow look within them, and typically inclusion. So I was really thrilled with the stone as far as how few inclusions it had. But still, you know, they do have some inclusions in them. And you know, I had a light here. Yeah, it was here. Ah. Not the best one. Yeah. So you can see what a UV light will do to it. Gives it intense fluorescence. and you get about half of what you get from a UV light in daylight. But just a unique stone that, you wear it and you go outside and it just turns this fluorescent green color. There's just really no other material that I know of that does this kind of daylight fluorescence.
We did a big video on this that actually went viral. I
Yes.
think we have 7 million views now of it.
Plus how many million that it
from
went to
Reddit,
other
yes.
sites. It just, probably 10 million or more views on
Yeah.
it.
People are just amazed
and
by
still just people constantly commenting on it. And you can't see this extraordinary thing of the daylight fluorescence in these, well, I guess you can because Michael did the video. But this daylight fluorescent character is really what makes it rare. Now, these are very slightly radioactive. They will show up on a Geiger counter because the coloring agent is uranium or uranol. So it has a slight radioactivity, producing mostly alpha and beta particles, which do not penetrate the skin very far. So most have said that it's no general risk wearing, but generally when we make them into a piece, we put metal behind it, just give a little extra protection. Yeah. But just kind of a unique material and brings a lot of money. If you look online, even half-carat stones can be $600-700. And you'll see almost no stones of this kind of size. So this particular stone, for its rarity, has an appraised value of $6,600. 49.50 is a price online, and 15% off is $42.07 is the price. We've probably cut 7 or 8 of these stones, and invariably they sell, just because of the extreme rarity. And when you go looking, trying to find a stone like this, they just don't exist. So unique stone, great collector stone, and, just kind of cool that you can go to the beach and you'll have this stone that's just glowing, vivid green. Most people's comment is, it looks like kryptonite is the most common comment on this material. Yeah.
Changed up battery.
Okay. All right, little battery change there.
Hopefully, that'll work.
Okay, after the rarest stone, this stone is the most amazing of its type I've ever seen. This has the most dispersion of almost any stone I've ever seen. Sphalerite's tough to compare to because its dispersion is huge. But this gem it's like a glitter ball with reds and greens and yellows. I don't know if this will show it but I've had a lot of Sphenes, but by far this is, where are we at? Whoop. Can't find there we go.
I didn't do anything.
Okay. This shows it fairly well, but the flashes that you see in this are just exceptional. I don't know what other gem shows you these multitude of colors displayed in one gem. Dispersion is what causes it. Dispersions break up a white light into spectral colors. Yeah, makes it sparkle more. But just really an attractive cut, and I'm going to say it's probably a barium again. Well, no surprises there. So just a remarkable stone. And as somebody asked earlier, is it good for a ring? Probably not. You know, it's just a little bit too soft for a ring, but a great pendant. But by far, probably the best Sphene I've ever owned. You know, just a unique color, and just the amount of dispersion it has just puts it up into a category like I haven't seen before. Nice. The shape helped a lot, I'm sure, as far as showing the dispersion so well. Because nothing like a nice square brilliant to show off brilliance and dispersion. So great stone. This Sphene weighs 4.15 carat. Appraised value $1,660. Our regular price online $1,245, and with the coupon code New Year, 15% off takes it to $1,058. That's Sphene. This comes from, where the hell does this come from? Tanzania, which is a source I haven't had much from. You know, most of the material has come from Madagascar and then Zimbabwe. But this color, unique from Mondo, Tanzania. So I'll be looking for more of this because I like it very much.
All right.
Question?
2 people have messaged me now. Is there any way, if they're extra cautious, that they could do a ring with the Sphene?
Hey, do what you want. You know, you don't hardly ever wear it. You think about how to protect it when you set it, but still, you know, it's questionable.
You hit it on one thing and it's done.
Yeah, you just hit it badly once, you know, and you're going to damage it. You know, it's unfortunate because such a unique stone. And if it was more wearable, these would be so expensive, you know, because the durability just jacks up the price. If this were a sapphire, you know, we'd be looking at, I don't know how many thousands per carat. You know, that durability does affect the value of the material, unfortunately, you know, but you just don't get this kind of look in any other stone. You know. So I don't know if we've, you know, there's you know, a lot of the, you know, the big companies on TV, they'll set appetites and rings. I'm going, whoa, what the heck? You know, that's a one-day stone. You know, you're going to damage it, no question. You know, I can't understand how they would even think about it. This stone almost has, it probably has enough hardness to wear in a ring, but, you know, it's just, I don't think it's going to last. So we had a sale?
Yep, so your whole spiel doesn't matter. It just sold.
Okay. Yeah. If it goes in a ring, I told you so. But, you know, there's a lot of softer stones in rings. You know, these are kind of the hardness of what opal is. You know, a lot of people put opal in rings, but they do get damaged over time.
Yeah, you have opal in your ring.
Yeah, I have opal in my ring, you know, and it will get damaged, but, you know, it's easier to polish, and, you know, I'm not sure in a faceted stone, it's just risky. Yeah.
Thank you, Laura.
But thanks. Who is it?
Laura.
Laura, thank you. Yeah, you'll enjoy it. I'll miss it. You know, I just cut this last week, and, you know, it's just the most incredible thing to look at in daylight. It's just mind-blowing, really. So I'll be looking for more. I've never seen it before, you know, so it's a first for me, this source of Sphene. But it'll be on my list of things looking for, you know. And up next is another tourmaline. You know, this is kind of a cool shape because whatever you do with it, what's the matter?
Oh, I'm frozen.
Whatever you do it makes a unique piece. You know, we've done quite a few pendants with these long stones, and you don't have to be too creative to make something that's a unique look. We've done even these longer stones in rings, and it's a really cool look. This stone is just for its length. You know, we were talking about that Heliodor earlier and how long it is. And this would be a style that will work for it, but unfortunately it'd lose a lot of weight in it. You know, but the way they cut these takes this long, thin crystal and just makes a beautiful gem out of it. And we're going to be working on some designs for these longer pear shapes, because apparently I like them, because I end up with a lot of these, and morganites and tourmalines and aquamarines. And they're cool when you get them made up. You know, we're going to spend a lot more time this year working on making new designs for these pieces. So this one weighs 4.70 carats, 43.20 is the appraised value. Our price online $1,490, and with the 15% off using the coupon code New Year, this one is $1,266. You know, these shapes are so typical of tourmalines. They're these long pencil-shaped stones, and this is one way of making a better use out of that that long crystal, rather than cutting an emerald cut, which has no brilliance or life to it. And up next is a natural tanzanite. This stone, if I'd had time, I may have heated it. It's unique as it is, but man, a heated stone. I'm not even sure what the color of this thing's going to be. You know, this in more in an incandescent light, those flashes. I mean, it's mostly a red stone. I don't know if that's going to end up being the heated stone, being full of red flashes. I don't know. I've never cut a stone that in tanzanite that's been this color, such an even reddish brown coloration. So it'll be interesting to see what it heats to, if it gets that far. I've sold a lot of naturals. I'm assuming this one may not sell natural. I'm not sure. You know, but I know it's going to be something special. You know, I was worried about this stone being overly dark, but fortunately it didn't come out that way, and it's just going to heat into something incredible, I'm sure. Yeah. So if nobody buys this in the next several days, we'll see it probably next week heated. Yeah. It weighs 25.08 carat. Little disappointing. I'd hoped for 30 carats, but I knew 25 was likely, but I thought 30 was possible. But I got the 25 carat out of it, and I'm thrilled with it. It's a emerald cut that I've started cutting a little differently to get a little more brilliance out of an emerald cut. Emerald cut tends to show color really well in tanzanite. So it is a really good cut for tanzanite. And when they're this squarish, you know, being not much wider or not much longer than they are wide, it even accents the beauty of an emerald cut even more. So this'll be a special stone when it's heated. So hopefully I get to see it. I mean, if I sell it natural, great, but you know, I'd sure like to see what the heck this stone looks like heated. Yeah.
A few people in the chat are kind of persuading me not to allow you to heat it.
Well, good. Yeah, well, we'll buy it and you'll solve that problem. We do sell a lot of naturals. The ones that show, the ones that show more color to them and you get a lot more variety. I know those are going to sell natural, and I keep them natural. But it's just these big stones are tougher to sell natural than if this was a 5 carat, I'd have no question. I'll keep it natural, and somebody will buy it. But as a stone this expensive, it's a little slower to sell them natural. But I've sold many of them natural up to 40 carats. So, but I'm just not sure about this color. And in some lights, it's on the dark side. In just a good incandescent, I mean, it literally, some of the bigger flashes you see in there are much more red. So it is really, really a unique color. And love to sell it natural because it takes out the minor risk that you can heat a stone and cause some kind of damage to it. Rarely happens, but it happens. So selling them natural is an extra benefit. But I'm really curious what this stone will heat to. I mean, could be just another really, really pretty tanzanite, or it could be something unique I've never seen before. Because it's unique now. I've never seen a stone that looked like this in a natural tanzanite before. So.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Super interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it's from that standpoint, it probably deserves not to be heated. But man, just to see what it heats to, I'm really curious. Many of them just heat to be a beautiful tanzanite color, but I don't know the amount of red that's in this. Could it be something extraordinary and unique in a heated stone? So I'm.
Would the value go up then?
Something probably. Because what happens in these dark stones that are verging on too dark, they tend to brighten up a little bit when you heat them. So there's a little benefit there. So, yeah, don't know, but I know it's going to be great, so just what it is. It'll be interesting to see just from that standpoint. I know everybody wants to see things stay natural, but there's a case like this where be curious to see just what it becomes. So it's did we give the price on this?
I think so.
It's got an appraised value of $30,000, $16,950, and with the 15 off coupon code hidden New Year. It's $14,407, so $576 a carat. Yeah.
Don't get heat happy, Steve.
Well, it's going to be it won't be heated till after we're back from Tucson, so okay. It's got 2 or 3 weeks of life left in it, and I've got enough tanzanite. I don't need to heat it right away. So it's
so
just
what you're saying. Everybody's got time.
Got a little time, yeah.
Okay.
But one day I'll just go, time to heat it.
Yeah,
Yeah. Sometimes I get the urge and look at it and go, if in every light it was this color, if you get it in fluorescent light or, incandescent is the best. Daylight is good. Incandescent, it goes that red, and it's extra special. I mean, I would never heat it if it stayed that in all lights. But there are lights that it's just not as spectacular in. So that's what leads me to heating, But you collectors out there, you want something different. This is the stone.
Question back on the Sphene. Somebody wanted to know, with you going to Tucson, what are the chances of finding, if she did not a ring, but finding matching Sphene for earrings?
Well, I can find matching Sphene for earrings. Probably not this source. But there are a lot of similar ones. A lot of the material, I don't know. I don't think it's Madagascar, though. I've got one supplier that always has some Sphene, and they're similar to this. So matching pairs, are possible. Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you're interested, you can. There's a form on the website. You can submit your request, and definitely Steve can take a look at what he's got or what he can find.
Yeah, because it's a friend that I always get together with, and I first met him on one of my first trips to Tanzania. Not Tanzania, to Thailand. Yeah, he lives in Bangkok, and he typically has Sphene and may have match pairs. So if there's something you're specifically interested in, there's no, you're not committing to it, because I always buy Sphene. If I saw something I really liked in a match pair, I would want to own it anyway. So it's something that if it's available, I'll probably own it anyway. So after Tucson, if it's there, I'll have some Sphene. Yeah. And up next, another really extraordinary stone. This is a rhodolite, and probably one of the finest rhodolites I've ever owned. And I've owned a lot of rhodolite. Rhodolite used to come out of the Congo deposit in Tanzania in my early years. Back in the late 80s and 90s, they were producing some huge gems. Cutting 25 carat, 30 carat rhodolites of color similar to this was not unheard of. That source has been long gone. But this material, I don't know, I have an exact locality on this, but really a special stone. Hopefully I'll get some more of this material. My supplier says there's more coming. Whether it's like this or not, time will tell, because this is really special for rhodolite. This is almost a color that everybody's trying to rename them something different. We have umbellite and what's some of the other, a lot of the mahenge garnets came out in somewhat similar color to this. But I'm just going to call this a rhodolite, and, just really a spectacular color. Just really a nice, brilliant stone, the right depth of color, because rhodolite can be too dark also. But this is just right color, right depth of color, right cut. This is an all step cut, not a Barian this time. It's step cut, pavilion, and crown, and just worked really, really well. So this is a stone, praises at $35.90. Our regular price $22.45, and with the 15% off, it is $1,908. The garnets have become one of the most popular gems, mainly because of the material that came out of mahenge, which was bigger sizes, unique colors we'd never seen before. A lot of it was a little bit in this color range, but we had the peachy Malayas and light pinks, just so many new colors that when it came out, which has probably been 6-7 years now, when it came out, it created such a demand in the business for the garnets that it really pushed the prices of garnets up significantly. And deservedly so, because they're really a special stone. Very, very brilliant colors that are as good as any other gem produces, and a really good rarity in the material. So actually still, compared to other stones, they're still a reasonable material, but the prices have probably at least doubled, and in some cases tripled over the last 5-6 years. So, but when you're looking at a stone that's 9 carat, that's $250 a carat, still not a lot of money when you compare to many of the other gems. And our next stone is another of our hidden gems. final hidden gems, your last chance at a hidden gem.
Jeffrey, do you have that one up?
I just put it up, so if you're looking at the collection of gemstones, just refresh the page. And that bad boy is up there now. 30% off with coupon code RARE30.
So this is a peridot from Pakistan. And Pakistan has produced the finest peridots ever, in my opinion. And I think many people's opinion. Bigger stones, less yellow to them than other peridots. Just a really remarkable color. This is a 7.20 carat, appraised value of $3,500. Our online price of $1,390, and with the 15% off, it puts it at 30%. $973 for a 7-carat peridot. You know, special price. This is kind of we call it a shield, but if it were notched, we'd call it a heart shape. Which is really pretty color, nice clean gem. And big stone, big face. It appears a bigger size than what many peridot do. Peridot typically are cut deeper, so you get a less of a big face size. This just has a nice big face, beautiful cut. Not a stone that I cut, but really, really well done cut.
Show us the size of that. There, yeah. That's a good size.
Yeah.
You done in a ring too? Too big?
Oh yeah, no, good ring size.
Good ring size.
I don't know. Where am I? Ah, there I am. Well, there's my tanzanite ring. So, nice gem. 30 off, putting it at $900 and some. And if you look on our website, these are typically $150, $200 a carat for bigger peridots. And here's one of Mineral Mike's crystals. He has some really, really nice peridot. It just has a beautiful crystal shape, which is, you just don't see fine crystal shape in peridot.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good one, yeah. Again, this is a Pakistani stone. So you'll see that on Mineral Mike. That's the price?
What's that?
Is that the right price? Yeah. And on Mineral Mike, this is a $300 crystal. I think I might take this. That's really a great crystal. Yeah. Beautiful specimen. All right, and our next stone is another of the tourmalines from the Democratic Republic of Congo. And what a special color this is. And I like the cut, if I say so myself. Just real lively stone. And just, you know, this has a little bit extra depth of color to that peach look. And just, that's what I wish I could buy all the time. So this weighs 6.11 carat. Praise price $48.80. $22.90 is the regular price on our site. And with the 15% off, it's $1,946. And this would make a beautiful ring. You know, and tourmaline's hard enough that you can do a ring. Good, tough gem. And that longer shape, again, it's a shape that will make a pretty ring almost no matter what you do with it. It's easy to accent it with a little bit of diamond and make an extraordinary piece out of it. And it's big enough for a pendant. I don't know if I can show that. Well, I don't know if we can see it, but whoop. Well, anyway, I got it. Okay. So, just a beautiful tourmaline.
So is that the same as those other two? Same source?
Same source. Yeah, I think it's same mine. Yeah,
So is this cut down the AB axis then?
this is on the AB.
So slightly different color or?
It's just
Very
deeper. Yeah, I think real similar. Yeah, like Michael's talking the AB, it's cut this direction rather than the one stone we had earlier was cut on the C axis. Yeah. So the color's typically different on these two axes, but not as, that one was cut on the C axis. So the colors of both axes on these particular tourmalines is pretty, which makes it much easier for the cutter because, sometimes the size of the stone is better on one axis or another. And our next stone is another tourmaline from the DRC. This little different color in the greens. Most common, this particular source, mostly pinks and greens are what it produces. This is an all step cut. Weighs 8.80 carats. 57.20 is the appraised value on it, and 26.40 our online price, and 22.44 with the 15% off using the coupon code New Year.
It's a nice beefy stone.
Yeah,
Real clear too. Brilliant.
yeah. Thanks. Yeah, step cuts work really well for this material. Accents the color real well. So when you have a deeper piece of rough, it'll hold its color, and produce a lot of brilliance. It's probably the least used cut that I don't understand why more cutters don't do step cuts because they always produce a great looking gem. So when you have that extra deep piece of rough, it's just the best use of the material is to do a step cut like this.
Over the hidden gems one more time. Just recap those.
Hidden gems, and our show is ending soon. So if you do have any questions, you can throw them in the chat. You can message me through the site. Yeah, those are probably the only two methods. But yeah,
Give yourself one number.
not going that far. But so post those now, and if we can go through those hidden gems again, they're all shown up on the category page now. So if you go to MoreGems.com, there's a green bar at the top. You click on that, it'll show all the gems from the show. But we'll go over the 3 hidden gems, which were 30% off with
One
rare
of them sold,
30s.
right?
One, I guess.
Yeah. So there's only 2 hidden.
Only two left. And can you, this last stone before Steve, can you, the beefy one, can you put that on your finger? Somebody wants you
Sure.
to see the size.
Beefy stone.
It's a nice stone.
Yeah. It's thick. I like that. It's like, it just looks really, I don't know.
Yeah.
You ready? Is that where we should do it? Yeah, that's probably too close. Huh?
I think. I don't know.
Where's
Put it
that?
on there and then.
Yeah, let's try up here. get it on the screen.
And Steve has really big fingers.
Yeah, I do.
So if you're female and wearing this, it'll probably
Be nice, good size.
Yeah, that's nice. Did you put the lotion on your hands today, Steve?
Okay, Jeff. When your hands are this old.
Hey, mine are getting there. Mine are just a lot more stringy than yours are. A few other questions coming in. Thank you, everybody, for posting some questions. Eileen wants to know, how is the supply of tanzanite doing right now?
Still good, far as I can see. Yeah. I've got two friends that just came back from Tanzania. And I'll see them here in the next week and just see what the supply is. I just got material in, like I said, that I went through today. Prices haven't changed much. I mean, they did a little jump back earlier last year, maybe 10%. But currently I haven't, the prices still seem to be about where they've been over the last couple of years. So not much change. Seems like there's still goods available. So I'll know more in a couple weeks.
All right, got a sale.
Oh, sorry.
All right, Steve, I got you. It's getting late.
Daydreaming somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, what sold?
So I believe it was one of the hidden gems, the peridot.
Oh, cool. All right.
Thank
great,
you, Shelley.
great. Yeah, thanks so much. Yeah, lovely stuff.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Thank you.
Let's see what else we got here. So James wants to know, out of all the gemstone deals and negotiations that you've made in your career, what's the one that you regret not doing, not grabbing?
Well, the ones I regret are mainly because of financial inability to take advantage of what was available. And there's been many. You know, the peridot, when it came out, was, I mean, the sizes were huge. The prices were cheap. Of course, I bought as much as I could, but if I was more in a situation like I am now, I'd just love to have bought. I mean, there was peridots fist size, you know, and just there was so much of it at the time. You know, and that's a recurring situation, you know, the rhodolite garnets when they were available. Bicolor tourmalines that came out of Brazil, you know, and when they're in such large quantities as they were, the prices were just cheap, you know. But back in those days when they were hitting more of this big pockets of material, just didn't have the money to buy as much as I wanted, you know. So there hasn't been a lot of things, you know. I'm one that if it's there and I got money, I buy it. You know, I'm so hooked on this stuff that not much of a good deal gets by me without jumping on it if I have the finances. Even if I don't have, I find a way to try and make it happen. But it's when I didn't have the finances, when these big supplies of material came out. You know, sapphire from Madagascar back in the late 90s when, you know, sapphire, you could buy a 5-carat sapphire for $1,000 a carat. Now it's 5,000 or more per carat for the same stone. So it's over and over again, these kind of deals that, you know, if you got the money and you just buy as much as you can, because you know when it's in quantity, it's not going to last forever, you know, and that's our motto when we go to these shows now. If we see something in quantity, we just try and buy as much as we can, because it's an invariable that it within sometimes months, you know, as is the case of Rwanda amethyst, it was 6 months it was available and gone, you know. So those kind of things are what we kind of try and keep track of and not miss out on. We're still waiting for something new, and maybe it'll be in Tucson this year. You know, it's often where it shows up, you know. So hopefully we'll find something new and a really good value.
All another question. Young people coming into this field, how do you, not sure if it's jewelry and gem cutting, how can younger people break into this field and, become good at it?
Well, depending on what you want to do, of course, going to GIA or some other schooling, if you want to be in the trade, GIA would be the place to go. If you want to be work in a shop or produce jewelry, what's the name of the school, Mike?
New Approach School for Jewelers.
New Approach School for Jewelers would be a place. If you want to be a cutter, we have videos online that'll help you become a cutter. So there's a lot more information available online these days that make it easier for you. And if you have questions, you can always ask us about what to do, where to go, and, just how to get involved, how you can get involved in this business. Because it's a real enjoyable business. It's a pleasure to deal in gems, and, for us, it's exciting. And, Tucson, of course, is one of the most exciting periods of our year. And glad it's back available this year, where last year of course, we didn't have it because of COVID.
And with gem cutting, what's the machine you'd recommend?
The Ultratech V5 is the machine behind me here, and you'll find videos of us using it online. It is the best machine available at this time. It is really a machine that makes cutting much, much easier than when I started. And I'm thrilled with the machine, and most of the stones you've seen tonight have been cut on that machine. So,
all right. I know we get these kind of questions a lot, and I know it's not always the easiest, but this gentleman wants to know, he came across like a pigeon blood ruby from Mozambique. Do you know how much those are per carat on average, or?
I don't know the current price. I mean, I have a price list, and pigeon blood from Mozambique. You might get some people that would disagree that pigeon blood does come from Mozambique, but Mozambique does produce some beautiful, beautiful gems, and it really depends on the size of the stone and whether it's heated or not. Will be a huge difference in the price range of Mozambique rubies. They get 1 carat. I'll tell you what the guide says it is. So Mozambique. So 1 carat to 2 carat really fine stones can be $7,000 to $10,000 per carat. And when you get on enhanced, it can be 30-40% more than that. Carat stone at that much. In me personally, I'd be thinking a carat stone in the $3,000 to $4,000 range for a really, really top, clean Mozambique ruby. But hopefully, we'll learn a little more in Tucson. My supplier from Bangkok is not going to make it to this show this year, but hopefully we can find out a little more, because I haven't bought much in ruby in the last year. Tucson's the place we learn these things and figure out what prices are, and the guide's helpful, but not always 100% accurate as far as what I feel the prices should be. You see what our appraised price, we're typically half of what the appraised price is, or somewhere in that range. So we'll learn more in Tucson, and hopefully we'll have some more information price-wise to share with you.
All right, we got one message. Woman wants to know, out of the stones that are left, specifically minus the tanzanite, the large unheated one, what would you recommend? What would be your favorite stone left out of the bunch for her?
Well, the Heliodors are spectacular. I mean, there's so many stones here that are just extraordinary in my mind. That there's so many great choices. These peach-colored tourmalines, I assume that this is going to be a limited availability. You know, it's only been recently I've started seeing these, so it's one particular mine producing it. So going on the assumption that how things have been in the past, it's short-time production and then gone. You know, you never know just how long they're going to last. But those are pretty extraordinary stones. Other than that, you know, the rhodolite is special. You know, it's hard to pick a bad one. You know, this tourmaline right there is very, very special stone. You know, it's just the best selection we've had. So there's you know, but the tourmalines are special, and those, yeah, I would say the peach tourmalines, the rhodolite, the Heliodors would be my favorites in there probably.
Hope that helps. Okay, moving on. So Brad Lyons wanted to point out another good resource for people wanting to learn to cut gems are the local lapidary clubs. He's the vice president and secretary of the Calgary Faster Guild.
Really?
So,
yeah, cool.
I don't know if we have any of those around here, do we?
Not currently. There was one, Calumet Lapidary.
Okay.
But no longer here currently. So
Probably Chicago doesn't have something like that.
Yeah, they used to teach at the park service.
Okay.
I don't know if they still do it or not in Chicago. So it is definitely one place to look, you know. And those guys there are generally very, very helpful, you know, because they're people like me that are really into it. And I don't know what the age is. It used to be they were getting kind of old, but like me. And, you know, but I'm sure it's a new group now, and they've always been remarkably helpful. They're not in the trade. They have more time to share with you, and so that is definitely a place, you know. And when you can get some direct hands-on help from somebody, it's helpful. But again, look at our videos on YouTube, and I've put out as much information as I can and as detailed as I can of what you need to do it, and just showing you through the whole process. That if I'd have had that when I started cutting, it would have cut my learning time in half for sure, or even more than that. So those are some definite places to look, and hopefully you have some clubs there that you can go actually talk to people, and definitely helpful, and particularly when you get started cutting, when you run into problems, it helps to have somebody right there that has been through it.
And it looks like Chris Clemens joined in here.
Hey, Chris.
So the Lizadro Museum of Lapidary Art, which is actually in Oak Brook. Oh, that's close to where I live. In Oak Brook, has a new lapidary club that's starting up.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, good to know.
Yeah, we haven't been there since they moved.
Yeah, we'd like to go there again. We went for their closing sale, but you know, they've moved, and that's a really, really nice museum there, and something that anybody that's around Chicago area, it's well worth going to. Yeah, we'll make a plan to go there sometime soon.
I didn't even know that was there. That's like 15 minutes from where I live.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, they used to be in Elmhurst. Yeah,
Sounds right.
yeah, because Lizadro's, I dealt with the family for many, many years as far as selling them stones. That they had a jewelry store also.
Guess he said it's called the West Suburban Lapidary Club. If anybody's looking.
Cool.
Good to know.
I know we talked about this earlier, Ken. You know, we've got people coming on all the time, so was asking about what's going on in Tucson, or what is the Tucson show? So can you
Well, the Tucson show it's not a show, it's 50 shows. So it's all over town, all different types of shows. minerals, fossils, gems, rock, you know, artwork with rock. It's everything. So there's something for everybody there. The show goes for more than a month. They open different times and end different times. So there's wholesale shows that are difficult to get into. There's, most shows you can get into. There's only a couple that are restricted to just the trade. But well worth anybody of interest going out there, and most will find it confusing because there's so much. There's just so much, and figuring out where to go and where to go for what you want can be difficult, but well worth going to. We go to it every year. I showed there for many years up till 2001, and decided it was just more fun just to go and meet people and talk to people rather than being stuck in a booth. And so it's really an extraordinary place. It's the biggest thing in the world for sure.
That's why we're out there for 2 weeks.
Yeah, we spent 2 weeks out there.
When's it open to the public?
Most of the shows will be at the end of January. The club show is the last show, which is maybe February 7th or 8th through the 14th, something like that, But shows start the end of January and go through the middle of February.
Okay, excellent. All right, so I think we have one more hidden gem, but all the gems, again, can be found at MoreGems.com. Top banner, just click it and you can see the whole selection, all 15% off with New Year. So you just use New Year when you check out. And again, you can use credit card, you can use PayPal. We have financing through Bread, which you can finance up to $10,000 up to 12 months. And then also, if you ever want to do layaway, you can give us a call tomorrow, and we can hold out a stone for you. So, but we're going to go into, there was a couple hidden stones that were 30% off with Rare 30, and I think we only have one left. And I think that's
showing right now.
The one showing right now, which is the crystal beryl, which you said was you hardly see this at all.
Yeah, crystal beryl is, yeah, just a rare gem on the earth for some reason. The rarest form being alexandrite, which currently are just crazy many. A stone this big would be 100,000, maybe more. So.
All right, excellent. Yeah. Well, great show.
Okay. All right, folks, remember, shop online at MoreGems.com, as well as subscribe to us on YouTube at MoreGems. That's going to do it for us today. I want to thank you for joining us. Sign up for alerts for when we go live. Also, check out all the video links and info at the bottom of this stream. So until next time, I'm Steve Moriarty. Keep on gemming.